6 o'clock. We hope you're waking up. Really nice start out there. The sunrise has been perfect this morning. I'm Adam Atchison.
And I'm Jenna Middaugh in for Rebecca Hager. Let's send things back to meteorologist Sydney Jackson. Sydney, that sunrise was gorgeous. We saw it just a little bit ago.
Right, and a good reminder, guys, you'll want to have the sunglasses.
Right now, the El Paso County Health Department says school should not start any earlier than August 17th. Currently, District 49 is the last local district with the starting date before that, but they are considering changing it. The suggestion allows 4 weeks to pass since Governor Polis enacted the mandatory mask order. The health department says it would be irresponsible to send kids back to school with the number of cases we have right now. D49's parents tell us they're keeping a close eye on their school's plans and want more specific details about what in-person learning will look like.
I think we're nervous.
D49 tells us they are holding a meeting today with board members to discuss the health department's suggestions.
Many Americans are set to lose that extra unemployment benefit that they've been getting during the pandemic.
The extra $600 a week from the CARES Act expires. We're still waiting for Congress to unveil the next stimulus package. 11 News reporter Kasha Karaj joins us live from Colorado Springs with information for people who may need help after losing those extra benefits. Kasha, you spoke to the United Way here in the Pikes Peak region.
KKTV 11 News.
You know, a lot of people need help right now. Thank you, Kasha. This is new from overnight. We're working to learn the names of several protesters arrested last night for causing a disturbance near City Hall. Colorado Springs police say about 25 to 30 people set up a physical barricade and blocked all of the northbound lanes of Nevada at Kiowa. Officers say several protesters threw glass bottles and yelled at drivers. 5 people were arrested, but this is what it looked like earlier in the evening when a Black Lives Matter group was protesting downtown. This group was out around 6 and things were peaceful, as you can see. Police have not confirmed whether this was the same group that caused the disturbance later on. Looking ahead now, President Trump announced he's canceling the Jacksonville portion of the Republican National Convention set for next month as Florida struggles with the virus. For the nomination, the president says a meeting of delegates will be held as planned in Charlotte, North Carolina.
30 minutes up to the south side of Denver. No problems there. So sorry, our camera's just moving just a little bit this morning, but we're all right, there we go. We're back. Some slowing on 105 this morning. 25 looking good up towards the Denver Metro. Couple accidents on the north side and out towards Centennial, but both of those are off highway. Jenna, I'll send it over to you now because our camera's just having
It's
a
a
moment.
Friday. It's a Friday. You got to give it a break.
Yeah. All right, no worries. Back over to you guys.
Thank you so much, Lucy. Well, this is breaking overnight. China is ordering the U.S. to close its consulate in the western city of Chengdu. That order came down early this morning. The AP reports the move was a response to the Trump administration's order this week for Beijing to close its consulate in Houston. Washington accused Chinese agents of trying to steal medical and other research in Texas. The Chinese Foreign Ministry appealed to Washington to reverse its, quote, wrong decision. New today, research is showing proper safety measures can keep newborns safe from the coronavirus. Lancet Child and Adolescent Health published a new study yesterday looking at 120 babies who were potentially exposed to COVID-19. The study reports their hospitals took several precautions like keeping the babies inside enclosed cribs unless they were breastfeeding. The moms also wore surgical masks. Researchers found that none of the mothers transmitted the virus to their newborns, even when they shared a room and the mother breastfed. Looking ahead now, Facebook is rolling out new features. The social media giant says it created a way to broadcast live to Facebook from Messenger rooms. People can go live with up to 50 people. The company says the concept will work well for those who want to do things like host book clubs, teach fitness classes, or just get a large group of friends together. You can even invite people who don't have a Facebook account. To me, this kind of sounds like Zoom a little bit, but
Very much so.
maybe people have Facebook more, so it might be more widely used.
I'm trying to think of the benefit, though. If you have that group of people within Messenger, why do you need to also go live on Facebook? That's odd, but I mean, the technology I'm sure will be used somehow.
For now, we are looking ahead. If you have AT&T, expect to have better service around the country. The telecommunications company says its 5G network is now available to 205 million users across the U.S. 5G provides increased speeds and bandwidth, but just because it's considered available nationwide, large parts of the country are not yet covered, and you can only use the network if 5G is part of your phone plan and if you have a phone that's 5G enabled.
Let's get to Good News Friday. A lot of big events, as you know, are being canceled lately, but something so many of us look forward to over Labor Day weekend is still happening.
But this year's Labor Day liftoff won't look quite like it usually does. The organizers of the Labor Day liftoff are planning to fly balloons. Event director Scott Appleman and his team have already been flying passengers for some paid flights this week over southern Colorado, complete with masks and vinyl barriers to help protect everyone on board. You may have even noticed a balloon with the 11 News logo on it in the air recently. I know I saw it. I can see it from my apartment,
That's
actually.
cool, isn't it? Well, that's where they take off, sort of, in areas where people can see, where it's visible. This year's Labor Day liftoff won't happen in one centralized location. Appleman says he's excited about what will happen.
We have about 10 to 12 different launch locations.
But still, we get to watch the balloons in the air for a couple of days.
I know, and sometimes it is cool just to see them from your house. It's a little special when they fly right over you.
I think so.
Well, if you would like to see a good news story featured on Good News Friday, just head on over to Good News Friday at KKTV.com. Welcome back to 11 News This Morning. Time is 6:29. I'm Jenna Middaugh in for Rebecca Hager.
I'm Adam Atchison. We're starting a Friday together. And look, here's the shot from up on Cheyenne Mountain
Ooh,
of the sunrise.
that is pretty.
We don't ever point the camera directly at the sun because it affects the mechanism inside, but you kind of get an idea of just how brilliant it is by looking off the side. It's perfect. Let's get over to Sydney.
Well, this is breaking overnight. We now know back to school plans for another big local school district. Students in Pueblo District 60 will go back at the end of August.
11 News reporter Melissa Henry is in the studio.
Live in studio, Melissa Henry, KKTV, 11 News.
It's good the school's ready for students to go back. Thank you, Melissa. Happening tomorrow, the extra $600 in unemployment benefits that a lot of people have been receiving from the federal government expires.
So important to those people. This morning, Congress is set to be back to discussing the possibility of extending those benefits, but Kasha Carriage is live in Colorado Springs to talk about really how impactful this is.
Kasha Carriage, KKTV, 11 News.
We know a lot of people need help right now. The Pikes Peak United Way is a good resource. Thank you, Kasha.
Both of the people that were in that vehicle are doing okay.
Glad to hear they're okay. In just a few hours, one of the suspects facing murder charges for the deadly shooting at the STEM school in Highlands Ranch is expected to be sentenced. 16-year-old Alec McKinney is one of two students accused of shooting at the school last May. He faces life in prison. The trial for the other suspect, Devin Erickson, was scheduled to start in May but had to be pushed back because of the pandemic. His trial will now start in September. One student, Kendrick Castillo, was killed in the shooting and several others were hurt. People are out of their home this morning following a small kitchen fire. Colorado Springs firefighters say it started around 8:40 last night inside an apartment near the Citadel Mall. Firefighters say something on the stove accidentally caught fire. They were able to put it out, but say the people could not stay inside that apartment. Firefighters say no one was hurt in that fire.
There's been a couple of others that have been named in the studio this morning that we're all anticipating getting to go to the theater to see.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear what they're going to do when they reopen. Are they going to space people apart, offer concessions?
Right.
So we haven't really heard plans about what they're going to do when they.
There's the whole thing
when
where
they
they
reopen.
they're streaming a lot of movies online now too, and so are any of these production companies going to want to put their
just go
movie in
straight
theaters or
to-
go straight to streaming? So.
Yeah,
See.
a lot to think about.
Yep. CDC has a new prediction this morning about the coronavirus in the U.S.
Coming up, the number of deaths the agency thinks we could hit in less than a month.
But first, breaking overnight, we just learned early this morning about another school district's reopening plans. Coming up, how soon D60 students could come back.
And we are taking a live look outside. It's a beautiful sunny day out there with a look at the interstate. Time is 6:47. We'll be back right after this. Parents, you want to listen to this. Doctors have a strong warning for you this morning. 2 children in our state have died from a rare illness that may be connected to coronavirus. It's called multi-system inflammatory syndrome. So far, 7 kids in Colorado have come down with it. Almost all of our surrounding states have also seen cases. Doctors say parents need to keep their eye out for symptoms, which will be hard to ignore, like fevers that last a long time. In less than 1 week, there will be no more face mask exemptions on American Airlines or Southwest. American says starting Wednesday, any passenger over the age of 2 must wear a face mask from takeoff until landing. Passengers can take off the mask when they're eating, drinking, or taking medicine. Southwest says its new mask mandate will begin Monday.
Fans weren't there. Instead, crowd noises were played through stadium speakers. I wonder how that sounded.
Well, hopefully it revved them up.
Yeah.
And happening tonight, the Rockies will have their season opener in Texas against the Rangers. The Rockies have been waiting for this day since March 26th, which was the original opening day. This will be the first return to sports for a Colorado Major League team. Thank you, Lucy. This is breaking overnight. China is ordering the U.S. to close its consulate in the western city of Chengdu. That order came down early this morning. The AP reports the move was a response to the Trump administration's order this week for Beijing to close its consulate in Houston. Washington accused Chinese agents of trying to steal medical research and other research in Texas. The Chinese Foreign Ministry appealed to Washington to reverse its, quote, wrong decision.
Okay, let's take a look at what's coming up next on CBS this morning. Coming up. So we'll update you during our updates here on 11 News starting at 7:25.
We will see you then. For now, have a good Friday morning.